A+ലേക്കുള്ള വഴി ഇനി തനിയെ തുറക്കാം. Subscribe to the ENCLAPS channel. Ring the bell button and open success. It's that easy.
Welcome to the wonders of life. How beautiful is our nature, isn't it? But the appearance of nature may not always be serene. Sometimes the face of the nature darkens. Other times it is pleasant. Wind and torrential rains will sow danger. We have witnessed such sights, haven't we? We have not forgotten the memories of the unparalleled flood season that affected our state. Man has a history of surviving disasters together. We have survived the floods together. When the rain stopped, the health department warned of another danger. What was that? Let's take a look at some of the newspapers of that time. What was that threat? Isn't it possible for the infectious diseases to spread? In such a situation where water is stagnant, the risk of various diseases is very high, isn't it? Why? Pathogens multiply and spread in unhygienic environments. Who are these pathogens? Most of the pathogens are microorganisms. But do not assume that all microorganisms are pathogenic. There are many microorganisms that are beneficial to humans as well. What are microorganisms? Let me give you a few examples. Bacteria, fungus, virus. These categories include pathogenic organisms. Microbes cause diseases not only in humans but also in other organisms. Now, how are these pathogenic microorganisms transmitted from one person to another? Let's check. Germs can be transmitted from one person to another in a variety of ways, both directly and indirectly. The most common of these are touch, contaminated food and water, cough and sneeze, non-sterile equipments, carrier animals, clothing. So what precautions should be taken to prevent these contagious diseases? Wash your hands properly with soap and water. Avoid contaminated food and water. Cover your mouth with a towel when you cough or sneeze. Avoid unsterile or non-sterile equipments. Take precautions to prevent of transmission of the diseases from carriers. Keep clothes clean. Have you heard of the news of the spread of various fevers in our country in recent times? Leptospirosis is one of them. It is commonly called as rat fever because it is spread through rat. Leptospirosis is a disease that can be spread in flood-affected areas. Let us understand a few things about the causes of leptospirosis, the mode of transmission, and the preventive measures.
Leptospirosis or rat fever is a bacterial disease. Bacteria are prokaryotic organisms. Once they enter the body, they multiply by binary fission. The toxins they produce destroy cells and cause various diseases. The bacterium that causes leptospirosis is Leptospira. Bacteria that are excreted through the urine of rats, dogs, and some other animals persist in stagnant water and moisture. Bacteria that enter the bloodstream through various wounds affect the tissues of body, producing certain toxins. These cause damage to the blood vessels and lead to internal bleeding. The main symptoms of leptospirosis include high fever, headache, muscle aches, and redness of eyes. Recognizing that prevention is better than cure, leptospirosis can be completely cured by early detection and treatment, which is essential to prevent the spread of this disease.
Have you seen the video? Is it clear how leptospirosis is spread? Now tell me, what are the steps to be taken to prevent the spread of leptospirosis? The main thing is to eliminate the condition in which the rats grow, shouldn't they? Environmental hygiene and personal hygiene should be maintained. We must not forget that cleanliness is next to godliness. Let us get acquainted with two other diseases caused by bacteria. One of them is diphtheria. This disease is also called as tetanus. The disease can be transmitted to others through coughing and sneezing. Let's learn more about its pathogenesis, symptoms, and treatment of diphtheria. Diphtheria is a disease that affects the mucous membrane of the nose and throat. Corynebacterium diphtheria is the pathogen causing the disease. The toxins produced by the bacteria causes fever, sore throat, and inflammation of the lymph glands in the neck. Cells in the mucous membrane are destroyed by the toxins, produce a thick grey coating in the throat within 2 or 3 days. Gradually, it affects the brain, heart, and kidneys. Antitoxins that act against the toxins used to protect the infected cells. But in the acute stage of the disease, the patient cannot be saved by medication. So the best way to prevent is to get vaccinated on time. Next, have you heard about tuberculosis? Tuberculosis is also a bacterial disease. Tuberculosis was widespread in the past. Let us list some of the important facts about tuberculosis. Pathogens, symptoms, infection, treatment. Pathogen, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Now, what are the symptoms? Weight loss, followed by fatigue and constant or persistent coughing. Infection, when a person coughs, sneezes, or speaks, the germs spread through air to others. Body parts and organs are affected. Tuberculosis mainly affects the lungs. However, disease can also affect kidneys, joints, brain, etc. Treatment, treatment with antibiotics or vaccine. BCG is the vaccine used to prevent tuberculosis. BCG stands for Bacilli calmette guerin. Now, we are acquainted with some of the diseases caused by bacteria. There are other pathogenic microorganisms too, but we will talk about them later. See you again with new knowledge useful in everyday life. Bye.
3 ലക്ഷത്തിലേറെ വരുന്ന ചോദ്യോത്തരങ്ങൾ ഏറ്റവും കുറഞ്ഞ ചിലവിൽ സ്വന്തമാക്കുവാൻ ഉടൻ തന്നെ ഡൗൺലോഡ് ചെയ്യൂ എൻക്ലാപ്സ് ദ ലേണിംഗ് ആപ്പ്.